Said the little lamb to the shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear? Oh, hello, little lambs, friends, family, insurance peers, taking the rest of the afternoon off in late December, Friday. Welcome to the triumphant return of the Insurance Scramble Live. In a year that's been chock full of unpleasant changes, it is refreshing today to bring to you a nice surprise. A real nice surprise. Ladies and gentlemen of insurance land, it brings me great pleasure and honor to bring into the mix today a new partner in crime, a co-host with the most, my dear friend and colleague, Mr. Alex Dopazo. We will hear from Alex in just a minute, but first, a little carol to get us started. 'Twas the year 2020, and little did we suspect everything we knew in life was to become a train wreck. Our routines were canceled as the virus spread. We began working next to our families, which I suppose is better than being dead. Politics got nasty, but that's nothing new. Hurricanes were relentless, but we survived that too. Now here we are in December, and I'm starting to see the sun. What we really need right now is a chance to have fun. So grab your favorite beverage, run and take a quick pee. Make yourself nice and cozy, for this is must-see TV. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, and let's get on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Holy cow, look who's in the building. And now to quote the most famous line of the year, your mute's on.
How is it that we just talked about it and I did it the first try?
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I am so excited to have you here, Mr. Alex. Welcome to the live broadcast table.
Well, words cannot properly express how grateful I am to be a part of the amazing Insurance Scramble community that you've created, Joe, and to be helping push forward into its next chapter in 2021 as we're all pivoting a little bit. It's good to see that we're all able to, that we're able to do something amazing here together. But I don't want to talk. We have some amazing folks who've contributed to today, and I want to make sure we make them the highlight. We make the joy of Christmas, the joy of the holidays, the only thing the Christmas Spectacular is about. So to you, cheers.
Cheers to you, brother. And I will say this, one thing that comes to mind immediately, you and I, great partnership. We're like hot cocoa and buttered toast. And I will tell you this, sir, when you are searching, when you look for a partner to get involved with, you probably picked or chose the best person to work with in the insurance entertainment business. I'll tell you that hands down. You can ask everyone, who's the best guy to work with in the insurance entertainment industry? Joe Hollier. I guarantee you 100% of the time. Absolutely checked all of your references. I checked all of the references, and that's exactly what they said. So, guys, I will say this real quick as we get the show rolling. So happy to be here. So happy to have you here. We are now streaming on multiple platforms. All of the chat and comments come from, or I should say, get funneled to the same thing. So we see all your comments. You can participate as you wish. We'll try to get everybody included. We're just so happy you're here. Let's get on with the show. I can tell you this, Alex, and you know this. We have a stuffed stocking full of holiday cheer today, and I am ready to get down to it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I had to put Bill right up there because he just wanted to talk insurance from the get-go. So
absolutely. So without further ado, I think we should get this ball rolling. I think we should not keep this guy in suspense any longer. We have a very special performance from a highly esteemed man in the insurance industry. Insurance agents from around the world this year brought us the Tiger King. Right now, the Insurance Scramble is going to bring you the king of the insurance airwaves. You know him well from the Insurance Guys podcast. Please welcome in, lots of virtual clapping here, Mr. Scott Howell.
How you people doing today? It's a pleasure. An honor to be with you today, and I have a very special Christmas song to sing to all you insurance agents today. And Joe, I just appreciate y'all letting me be a small part of it today. Here we go. I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I'll be so blue just thinking about you. The decorations of red on a green Christmas tree won't be the same, dear, if you're not here with me. And when those blue snowflakes start falling, that's when those blue memories start calling. You'll be doing all right on this Christmas of white, but I'll have a blue Christmas. This song, it reminds me of growing up in Tupelo, Mississippi as a boy. And my mom and daddy couldn't afford anything but a bag of oranges and a shovel for Christmas. And it just used to make me so happy to get that bag of oranges. And I'm just so proud to be here. You'll be doing all right with your Christmas of white, but I'll have a blue Christmas. Joe and the boys, thank you so much for having me. Y'all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And celebrate out of insurance in 2021.
Mr. Scott Howell. Scott, we love you. We are leaning on you for your leadership going into 2021. Have a Merry Christmas to you and your family, brother.
I'll be here. Y'all be good.
Thank you very much, sir. Wow. You know what, Alex? I'm pretty convinced right now that might have been the best insurance Americana broadcast in the history of insurance entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen,
I did it again.
Oops. I tell you what, if you've said the mute is on at least 25 dozen times this year, raise your hand. Everybody raise your hand. So this is no different. We're just trying to bring back some of the horrible memories we have of 2020 as we look forward to the bright future that is 2020. Well, that was absolutely incredibly entertaining. And I will say, I'm reminded that Elvis, and for that matter, Scott Howell, bring out some of the best holiday Americana that's out there. It really reminds us just how good we have it here in America and the valuable resources that we do have. Now, I will say, maybe for a little bit of a different opinion, we might want to take a look across the pond and see what our buddy, Mr. InsurTech Ed Halsey, has to say about this.
Absolutely.
Oh, hello. I'm just here in the countryside enjoying some good old-fashioned tea. Awkward. You realise we don't actually all talk like that, right? There are absolutely loads of accents in England. James Bond. Some are better than others, I'll give you that. You're probably thinking, he's not English, he hasn't got the teeth, yeah? A year of Invisalign to get these hard boys. But welcome to the Insurance Scramble Christmas Spectacular. And I feel like it's my job to be the kind of manager of expectations here. And I have to say, Joe, Christmas Spectacular, I think you might be overstating it just a little smidge on that one. On my list of things to do, it's just fractionally above giving that 15 minutes to the guy who keeps messaging me on LinkedIn saying, oh, should we connect and discuss synergies? No, let's not. Come on, Joe. Undersell, over-deliver. You know that. Rule 101 of sales. I sell sales training, by the way, just to let everyone know, without wanting to look like kind of an American Idol reject. But unlike the burning when I pee, I'm delighted to see the Insurance Scramble making a comeback. It's like Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. What did Snoop say? Two uncles at a barbecue, of course with some YouTube wanker on the undercard. And it's that special time of year full of ho-ho-hos, though that's not what Joe declares them as on his IRS return, where we all think about giving thanks, giving presents, giving one another a pretend virus. Oh, I've messed my hair up now. But seriously, it's an honour that Joe wanted me to be a part of this and made this special relationship between our two great country, well, I mean my great country and your country, like a Zoom call. Long may it continue. Now I would say enjoy this time, spend it with your family, but I don't know about you in 2020, I've had quite enough of them. In fact, Santa, while you're here, if you could take them back up the chimney with you, it'd be greatly appreciated, and I'll be there on my own on Christmas Day with a turkey and a bowl of port to myself. But have an amazing Christmas from me, Ed Halsey, here at Evermore Digital, everybody at Insurance Scramble, and remember 2020 could have been so much worse. You nearly had Kanye West as president. Tally-ho.
I tell you what, the Brits are pretty funny, especially for having such a chip on their shoulder. They have a little bit of comedy going on.
Yeah, well, it's funny to hear what after doing Americana, going across the pond and seeing what the original colonialists thought of what we've done with the place, huh? It was a real a good time listening to Ed and learning about what he thinks of Kanye West as president. What do you think?
I laughed all day at the birthday party. I thought that was probably the funniest thing I've seen in election history. But either way, it's good to hear his opinion, because we're biased. We're American. We know our traditions, but we probably looked at them with a little bit of a biased eye. So it's good to hear a little bit of insight across the pond. And I'll tell you what, our traditions run deep. One of those traditions, obviously, during this time of the year, there's plenty of things to indulge in, sweet treats, holiday favorites. However, there's some that just kind of leave a question mark. Some that kind of make you say, why would anybody eat that? Or what exactly is that? One of those things for me, Alex, is fruitcake. I don't know if you're a fruitcake fan. I still do not get fruitcake.
I don't even know how to buy fruitcake. I live in the deep South. I know that folks who live in Louisiana and Alabama, Georgia, think y'all are the South, but you don't get more South than me. Well, maybe Key West. And I've never seen a fruitcake. But I'm going to tell you from everything I've heard, I don't think I want to have anything to do with it either. Now, we've asked a few of our closest insurance friends what they think about it. Let's see what it says.
Paperweight.
Yeah, I can't do that. There's so many other better choices. That's what I really don't get about it. It's so low on the totem pole that even if you like it, it can't be your top three.
Paperweight.
Paperweight, unless full of bourbon.
Paperweight.
Paperweight, unless full of bourbon. That's going to be the theme right there. And I think that's pretty much standard across any indulgence during the Christmas season.
That's exactly what I did here. So I have my eggnog in my bottoms up cup here, and what I did to make it better was follow Tracy's advice. I made it full of bourbon.
Full of bourbon. Can't go wrong with full of bourbon. In fact, tell me in the comments, folks, if you can comment, what is your favorite cocktail of the season, and does it include bourbon? I will say this, going back across the pond, I'm sorry to keep dipping my toe in the English side of the world, but there is another treat that has a lot of question marks. And in fact, I finally came to the conclusion this year that I needed to know what the hell this thing is. I see it posted this time of the year: mincemeat pies, mincemeat pudding. Mincemeat to me, you tell me, Alex, mincemeat to me sounds like a bunch of coagulated gelatinous meat compressed together that you put into a pie crust and bake.
That doesn't sound disgusting to me, to be honest with you. But let's find out what mincemeat really is.
We asked our friend, Nigel Walsh, to elaborate on what mincemeat actually is.
Hey folks, well Joe's got me into this somehow. As the resident InsurTech baker, I thought I'd try and share with you what mincemeat's all about. So, this is it. There is no animals involved whatsoever. It is pure fruit. Go back to 1413 and Henry V served real mincemeat at his
Coronation.
At his coronation. And that then is called meat because it was mutton, pork, beef, and everything else thrown in wrapped with a crust. Today, though, we have fruit mincemeat, which is raisins, sultanas, and lots of other things, usually wrapped in a little pie like this with a nice crust. We also have Christmas cakes. Now, Christmas cakes are quite dry, so we feed them with lots of alcohol and pour it over a few weeks and months before Christmas. Christmas pudding, which is a lot more moist, it's got suet in it, and that means it stays like this for longer. And what we then do with it is pour more alcohol over it and set fire to it on Christmas Day. So basically, we have fruit, more fruit wrapped in pastry, or fruit with alcohol, and actually just add more alcohol. Have a great Christmas, folks.
Merry Christmas to you, Nigel. And you know what? Right there, the theme continues. Just add more alcohol. So what I'm getting so far in this process is just add more alcohol.
Well,
Especially in 2020.
We talked a little bit about the things that keep us apart, the big Atlantic Ocean between the two, the fact that, there was a time where, we had to, make our way to separate from them. But now we know what combines insurance professionals across the world: more alcohol.
I think that was always the case. I don't think that's anything new. But guys, we are so happy to have you here today. The Insurance Scramble live Christmas Spectacular. We're well underway, and we are just pleased to have you here. And in our comments, feel free to chime in at any time. There's a variety of Christmas things we're covering or looking at today. So it's always great to have your feedback, and really appreciate you being here. Alex, Christmas is the time for lots of family traditions, right? We all have great memories, probably all have horrible memories, but nonetheless, we each probably share some of the same types of traditions as some that are unique to our own families.
Do you have any, Joe, what's a family tradition unique to the Hollier family?
Family tradition for the Hollier family. We love to go and try to cut down our own tree, or at least into a lot farm that can do it for us. We go ahead and, get the tree up on the roof. We'll drive through a Dunkin' Donuts or a Popeye's Chicken. We'll go home. We'll put that tree in water. We'll watch Christmas Vacation. And, that to us signifies the start of Christmas season. How about you?
So our family, tradition is probably not unique to us, but something we like to do. It kind of towards the end of the season, because in our Advent calendar is a sweet treat every day up to 25th, Christmas Day. On Christmas Day, there is a baby Jesus and a candle. And the first thing we do before we even look in the direction of the Christmas tree is we sing Happy Birthday to Jesus as a family. And that's something that we've always really loved doing. The kids really get into it. And it's one of my favorite, Christmas traditional holiday things that we do. So we also asked a few of our friends what their traditions are like. This is where it goes.
So, Christmas Eve, we always do a seafood dinner, but it's not the 7 fishes that most people do. A haddock dish that's got a mayonnaise and tomato mixture over it. Haddock Louise, as it's called, or at least that's the name that I always had. So every time we say that we're having seafood or whatever for Christmas Eve dinner, everyone's like, "Oh, the 7 fishes," and we're like, "No, this is different for us."
Growing up is having a big Christmas Eve party, celebrate my mom's birthday, and then opening presents at midnight, whether people are there or not. We would try to kick people out by midnight so we could open presents at midnight.
Oh, that's easy. So we get Christmas pajamas. They don't have to be Christmas, but they usually are Christmas-themed pajamas. And since I was a baby, as long as I can remember, my dad read Twas the Night Before Christmas every Christmas Eve, and we've done that in our family since. So it may not be completely ours, but it's something that has been a long-standing tradition in the Bellmund household.
My mom, she's crazy. And every holiday, when she comes to the house here, we always have a big event here, she gets dressed up. So for Christmas, she's dressed up as an elf, or she's dressed up as Mrs. Claus. For other holidays, she dresses up as a turkey. She's crazy. The Easter Bunny, she's crazy. So my mom dressing up.
Swedish coffee bread. It's the best part of December, almost, for me.
I think that our Christmas pickle is not completely unique. Other families probably have seen it or done it as well, but it's where you have a little ornament in the shape of a pickle, well, about this big. This is not the shape of a pickle. And you hang it on the tree and you hide it. And whoever finds the pickle on Christmas morning gets an extra gift to open.
Lefse. It's Norwegian, like tortillas that made with potatoes.
Alex, I'm amazed that nobody's tradition was getting completely wasted and blasted by 11 o'clock in the morning based on the fact that we all consume extraordinary amounts of alcohol during this holiday season. But those are really cool. Really great to hear from those folks.
It was amazing. It was amazing. But remember, we asked for unique holiday traditions. So, if it's something we all do, we wanted to keep it out. Now, we were reminded by a good friend of ours in the InsurTech world that there are a lot of Christmas songs, and we've got a chance to hear a few today. But there aren't very many Hanukkah songs. So he went ahead and sent us something that we could celebrate with him and his family. Mr. J. Weintraub from ITC, thank you very much.
Instead of one day of presents, we have 8 crazy nights. When you feel like the only kid in town without a Christmas tree, here's a list of people who are Jewish, just like you and me. Lights the menorah, so do James Concord, Douglas, and the late Diana Shura. Guess who eats together at the Carnegie Deli? Bowser from Shanana and Arthur Fonzarelli. Parliament's half Jewish, Goldie Hawn's half too. Put them together, what a fine-looking Jew. O.J. Simpson, not a Jew. But guess who is? Hall of Famer Rod Carew, who converted. We got Ann Landers and her sister dear Abby. Harrison Ford's a quarter Jewish, not too shabby. Some people think that Ebenezer Scrooge is. Well, he's not, but guess who is? All 3 Stooges. So many Jews are in showbiz. Tom Cruise isn't, but I heard his agent is. Tell your friend Veronica, it's time you celebrate Hanukkah. Oh boy, get a harmonica on this lovely, lovely Hanukkah. So drink your gin and tonica and smoke your marijuana. With your lovely Hanukkah. Happy, happy, happy Hanukkah.
I could watch that all day, especially the "Don't Smoke Marijuana."
Well, I've seen it 5 times, and each time, the first time I cried laughing. It was such a great rendition of that song, and I'm so thankful to Jay for taking the time and his kids of doing it and sharing a little bit of them during this time.
I come to realize just how exclusive Christmas Spectacular. We need to change that to read Holiday Spectacular, because in fact, that's probably, if not my favorite, one of my favorite songs there. And Hanukkah's a great holiday. Let's admit it. I mean,
Absolutely.
What are some great things you can say about Hanukkah? It's not 9 days long. It's long. It's well lit. Lots of candles. And probably one of the best holiday songs out there.
We can thank Adam Sandler for that. So,
Absolutely.
But now we're switching back. we're heading over, and we've enjoyed some of these, pre-recorded things. Live is great, and we really love that. And we're so thankful for the folks, though, who decided to come on live with us a little bit to sing today. So I'd like to introduce, if I may, from the great state of Texas, the woman who single-handedly has made the reading of spam email subject lines more interesting, Miss Becky Schroeder. Hello there. So whenever you're ready, it is actually my pleasure to read your Twitter feed any time of the week and twice on Sundays. So if you haven't followed her, go ahead and do that. And whenever you're ready, Becky, go ahead and start.
Awesome. Thanks to Alex and Joe for having me on today. I really appreciate it. Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. I don't know snow, but have a cup of cheer. Have a holly jolly Christmas. And when you walk down the street, say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet. Oh, ho, the mistletoe is hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you, kiss her once for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and in case you didn't hear, oh by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year.
Yes, indeed. That's beautiful, Becky. I love your courage and I love your voice. Thank you so much. How you been? Did I interrupt something?
You did not. You did not. I don't know if she can hear us for some reason or another, but Becky, we love you so very much. We
can't hear anybody. Please tell her how much we love her.
We
Absolutely. Thanks, you guys. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Becky.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Oh, that's
very nice.
Fun.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Gotta love the live carolers.
Well, it's what that's what the holiday is about, right? It's take those times to be a little bit different, a little bit outside of our comfort zone, which we can probably, do a little bit more throughout the year and push ourselves a little bit harder. But this time of year makes it a little bit easier to do that. And so thankful for the folks who are willing to just share a part of what they're doing in wherever they are with what we're trying to do here. And that's amazing. Amazing. And with that, Bill Wilson was on a little earlier, reminding us of the importance of what we do for a living, insurance. But we have now from the Ohio Insurance Agents Association a small PSA reminding Santa that maybe he should be checking his coverages.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer coming home from our house Christmas Eve. You better believe I'm going after Santa. I hope he has high liability.
Hitting him where it hurts, Ash.
Man, you're not going to 1020 policy from Ash right there. That's just not going to happen.
That's an interesting thought. Only truly spoken by an insurance-minded professional like her would you consider the liability exposure of Santa crushing your grandmother.
Yeah, and basically closing down the North Pole because it didn't buy a big enough umbrella policy, and and so we're talking about Santa. What's the best present you ever got, Joe?
The best present I ever got. Wow, that's a lot of presents, Alex. I would say the ones that jump out of my head are the ones that are from my youth, because when you're a kid, you just want things so bad. Right? When you're an adult, it's not really so important what you get. But when you're a kid and your buddies have something that you really want and you ask Santa for it, you hope Santa's going to come through for you. I would say I thought it was the Atari 2600 back in 1980 something. However, it was top the year after when I got the Intellivision gaming console. I thought it was way out of my league as far as what Santa thought I qualified for. But when I opened that, I was extremely excited. Extremely. Like I might have kissed my father in the mouth. I was so excited.
Whoa. This is a family show. This is a family show.
How about you, Alex? What was your favorite Christmas present?
Oh, mine is Well, I found out that my son was going to be born on the 25th of December. My wife held on to that news for 3 weeks so she could tell me on Christmas Day. So the best Christmas present I ever got was knowing that my son was going to be part of our family. So it doesn't really get, for me, any better than that. Now, we did go ahead and ask some of our friends what the best present they ever got was. And I think you'll like some of their answers.
Probably when I was a kid, getting the old school original Nintendo was probably my remembrance of my favorite gift.
I mean, I remember as a kid, I got a bike, and that was probably like getting a bike for Christmas is pretty up there. I don't think there's many things I can. There were like Nerf guns back in the day that were like you had to push them, and then like a bigger yellow ball would come out, and I remember playing with those a lot. So those two things are really the ones that stick out from my childhood.
My daughter was first born. My wife started another tradition of creating those calendars on Shutterfly or whatever it is with all the pictures. So the first Christmas that my daughter was around and getting all those baby pictures in a calendar like that.
Oh, well, this year I'm getting a baby, so that's pretty exciting. I think this year will probably top all years.
That's a hard one, just because I've had some really, really terrific presents. But I think my mother gave me the best present ever. And it was an album that she had made of all the memories from when I was really, really young. And it was from kind of my ex-father, which I didn't spend much time with. So there was photos that I had never seen that she actually called around and got from the family so that I could see little pictures kind of me when I was young and some pictures of him. And it was just a great, and he just passed away. So it was a wonderful gift for her to come up with for me.
This was not actually a gift, but it was my grandfather's last Christmas. Is what was a gift.
My best present I ever got is my engagement ring, which I just got in October.
Congratulations, Ash. That's incredible. How cool is that? I forgot about Shutterfly calendars. Those are the best. Have you ever had one of those?
No. Well, my wife does Shutterfly Father's Day Christmas mugs. Father's Day mugs with the pictures of all the kids of that year or something of that nature. And in fact, I've had a few of them break over the years, and it just makes me sad. So now, thank you for that memory, Joe, for bringing that back.
Sorry. Well, it was a hit in our family. Like, we bought them, I think, for the entire family one year, and we got more compliments on that than any other gift we've ever given. So
yeah, absolutely. Everybody, if you let us know in the comments what your favorite Christmas gift you've ever gotten or favorite present that you've ever gotten, we'd love to share that with some folks. Thank you so much for our insurance friends who've been sharing a lot of these fun things about Christmas with us. And we have one more question I think here is kind of important for the Christmas time and very controversial. So Joe, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
No controversy whatsoever there. It's going to be Christmas Vacation all day, every year. And I don't know if it's just because it relates so much to problems that can go wrong with Christmas, or that I used to watch it every year with my family when we got our tree, and I continue that tradition now. It's just the go-to. How about you?
For me, I'm kind of a classics kind of a guy. So, It's a Wonderful Life is what I like to watch every single Christmas as often as I can. With the kids, they usually only watch about 5 minutes of it and ask me why it's in black and white. But we have some friends that we went ahead and asked them the same question. So let's go ahead and hear what their favorites are.
Bat Santa.
Favorite Christmas movie? This is an easy one. It's A Christmas Story.
It's a Wonderful Life. I'm going to go classic there with my dad's favorite. It really is my favorite. Have to watch it every year.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's what I got to go with.
Polar Express. My kids love it. We watch it every year together.
So my favorite Christmas movie is actually Nightmare Before Christmas, because I'm a huge Jack Skellington fan.
That's a great one, actually. Everybody equates that one with Halloween so much, but that is a fantastic Christmas movie. And Bad Santa. I love Bad Santa. Bad Santa might be 1A for me.
I will say Bad Santa was the one that I was not expecting to hear. Nightmare Before Christmas, it's funny, I had a longer conversation with Tracy about that, and she loves how it's about being yourself and about all the holidays, or specifically the holiday seasons, about finding who you are and being happy with who you are. And that's what Jack Skellington's doing throughout that. And I thought that was a really unique take on that. For me, I never really looked at it other than an amazing Tim Burton movie. Personally.
Well, there's tons of great Christmas movies, no doubt, and there's a lot of bad ones. But there's, I'm watching the comments come through. Home Alone, Elf, Die Hard, even. There's and the list
Die
is going
Hard.
on all Christmas.
I am in the Die Hard camp. It is absolutely a Christmas movie, and that it's one that's fun to watch every Christmas. In fact, you can't even find it on streaming most Christmases because they have a number of people who watch it.
I'm going to go ahead and make a comment here real quick because Bill Wilson has
Go ahead.
not only offered to bring his band on next year for our Christmas Spectacular, he also seems to have a really interesting Christmas story. So I'm gonna ask you, Bill. I'm gonna put you on recording right now. Next year, you're coming on with the Spiders, and you're gonna tell us whether through song or spoken word that fantastic Christmas story that you have. Okay, thank you.
Done. It's written. It went on Facebook, so it actually happened.
It actually happened.
It actually happened, and we're going to get to see it next year, Bill. So just expect the email 5:06 Eastern.
Absolutely.
And, I think it's time to get some cheer back on and raise the cuteness factor of what's going on there. Because I'm going to tell you that what's coming next will raise the cuteness factor of this show right off the charts. And we can all use a little bit of magic during the holiday season. And I am so thankful to this young lady and her daughter for sharing some of their magic, even though it's a Friday and not a Monday.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. And if you ever saw him, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeers used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then all the other reindeers shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
If you don't follow Olivia Schmitt, do yourself a favor and go right now, because she is one of the most comfortable, heartwarming people who's so smart in this industry, but just a great person. And so glad to have her part of this.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I love about our industry. I love the fact that we're seeing all of these individuals, all these people, not just go all in for themselves, but they're going all in to bring a little joy to somebody else. And that's one of the things I love about insurance professionals. No matter what part of the industry they work in, most of the time they're empathetic, and all they want to do is bring people a little bit of peace, a little bit of rest, and a lot of joy whenever we can. And thank you so much, Olivia and her daughter, for that amazing rendition. Absolutely. And so, talking about the importance and how insurance professionals look at the world, 2020 has been a bit of a tough year. And we've asked a few, what are they taking with them into 2021? So 2020, what are you taking with you?
I absolutely learned how to slow down, slowing down both at personal and business life, and appreciating everything that I have. I've strengthened probably our business and family life because of it.
Gratitude.
I'm taking everything. It was a great year for me. It was really a level up year. I feel like I was able to really focus on myself and focus on my business. And so for me, it was a great learning experience, whether it be leadership in the household or leadership in the office.
People have been talking about 2020 and all the negative behind it. I actually see a lot of positives out of it. And Kristen, my wife, she hates me telling the story, but the only real change that I've had in 2020 in my life is I'm not traveling as much, and I'm around my family a hell of a lot more. So what I'm taking out of it is all the family time we've had together. And I mean that. I've been blessed. And I know not everybody has that same situation that I do in the way that I work for my company and those types of things. But yeah, I've been very blessed this year that it's just been more family time and more of the same.
I am taking the good and leaving the bad and all the lessons learned to go into 2021 raring to go.
2020 for me was not a bad year. Now, mind you, I don't think that I enjoyed all the things that everybody else didn't enjoy either, but it gave me a lot of time to get my house ready to put on the market and be able to make a move that I really didn't know that I would possibly ever make, and that is to move from West North Carolina to Chattanooga.
The family time. We're normally going, and this year was really slow down and the time with family.
I am taking gratefulness with me. I've always been grateful for a lot of things, and I always try to practice, bring myself back to, hey, I've got lots of things to be grateful for, but I think it's really easy to lose sight of that sometimes, and I think 2020 made me really step back and really take hold of all of the things that I'm grateful for.
I thought that last comment by Ash really summed that up. We're all taking gratefulness with us.
You know what I love about that too, Alex, is so much optimism in those comments. Like, from John Bachmann to Amber. I love everything about John Bachmann except his football team.
I told them that I was going to use Premier's tracking feature to switch the Patriots to the Colts.
Right. I mean, I'm never going to love John for his football preference, but I guarantee he is a guy who will make you feel better about no matter what you're going through in your work or your industry. But that's great optimism there, and it's so true. Here we are after just a really challenging year, and we made it through. We got through it. And what are we taking with us by and large? The fact that we're slowing down, the fact that we've had more time with our families, even if it's driven us crazy in some ways or made things a lot more challenging in other ways. We're so blessed, and I'm sure people out there who are watching that maybe didn't have it as good as some of us in terms of just getting through it. But there is a lot to look forward to. And I'm really excited about 2021, not because it's a new year, but because I think we're stronger than we've ever been.
100%. I think we're more ready for things. And so with that, let's start that conversation going with a few words from some friends who weren't able to make it with us live, which is going to be right after this video. But where I wanted to give us a little bit of what they thought 2021 would bring us. And let's go.
We've been maybe reaching out more via video chat and LinkedIn messages and the whole 9 yards, right? Because we haven't had that face-to-face connection that we really want. And I just encourage people that to think globally, right? To kind of reach out beyond your network, right? Of the people that you know and you trust. And obviously, you still want to stay in touch with those people and keep those relationships going. But there's just a whole lot of folks out there in the world that are actually facing similar problems, similar challenges to you, and you don't always know them. And two gentlemen from Tehran, Iran, asked me if they could translate my book into Farsi, and they spent 6 months, and I just got the copy the other day, and this is like the coolest thing I got from 2020. The fact that those guys went through that trouble because they saw value in my book for the Iranian market. They work for a company called Salman Insurance in Iran, and we think about Iran like, oh, those are those bad guys over there, whatever, right? And we know we've got tensions between our countries, but just on a very human level, right? They're insurance professionals, we're insurance professionals, and they saw enough value in my book to go through the time and effort to translate it. So that's why I just encourage, there's, get to know people, even if it's virtually, you're not going to, be able to see as many folks probably face-to-face still in 2021, but spend the time, get to know some other folks, go outside your comfort zone, and you'll just never know who you make a connection with.
I think people are going to maybe be a little more courageous. I think the inevitable feeling of not knowing led to fear. But I think we've experienced that now, that not knowing and that fear. And I think that even if a situation, like the pandemic comes around again, if we don't know, I think we're going to know how to handle that better. And I think there'll be less fear.
I think if this year has taught us anything, it's don't try to predict.
I love if this year has taught us anything, is trying not to predict.
Look at this. I feel like the Goodfellas just walked into the room. The mafia of the insurance industry's here. A little intimidated, but nonetheless, welcome, gents. How are you? Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Hi, how's it going?
Pleasantly surprised to be a soft little SoCal guy who gets to walk in the room with the two tough New Yorkers. Try to hold up my end all right.
No.
Billy's a downstater, so just be careful.
No. Straight out of Jersey. Don't love it. I live in New York. I'm not from New York.
Fair enough.
Wow. Already getting tough, guy. Love it. Well, guys, we're here. I brought you here. We brought you here because not only just amazing gentlemen, I think it goes without saying. I probably don't even have to acknowledge who you are because you're so well known in the industry, but I'm going to go ahead and do it because I'm a good guy. We're joined by Ryan Hanley of Rogue Risk, Mr. Brett Fulmer of also known as Broker Brett of Newport Insurance, and Billy Van Jura, Birchyard LLC. Just really smart people, and we're so glad to have them. And we're talking predictions today. And I got a philosophy on predictions. They're kind of like tutor holes. Everybody's got one, and most of them stink. So, on that note,
wait, tutor holes?
Tutor holes.
He's talking about a little
family show.
I'm really glad I'm not the only one that had to hear that twice because I was like, "What?"
He's got a newborn. He's got a little kid, right? You got a little baby right now, so
So, based on that, Ryan, I'm going to start with you, Mr. Hanley. You've 2020, I think, was the first full year you had with Rogue Risk as a new agency. That being said, what's your strategy going into 2021 that your agency will have enough toilet paper to meet your clients' needs?
Well, the good thing is we're remote, so as long as my house has enough toilet paper, we'll have enough toilet paper. So I also don't know that will happen, but we do usually keep paper towels on hand too, so we should be good there. Our tutor holes will be nice and clean if that's the reference I was making.
Way too much toilet conversation right now.
So as far as predictions, I don't think a whole lot changes. I bet a year from now we're still talking about automation and technology not connecting, and should you go direct or should you focus or should you go broad or should you join a network, or why InsurTech is awesome or why InsurTech is the worst, or I have a feeling not a whole lot will change. I think that this is going to be a transitional year, and I don't mean that in the most negative sense. I mean that I have a feeling that the people who have a path are going to stay on that path, and I don't know what's going to change this year that's going to make a monumental shift in the industry. I think that there are people that see the future one way or another. Those people are on that path. And I feel like because of COVID, the recalibration of this year is either going to entrench people, and I think it's going to entrench people in what they think is right. And I think that's across the board. So I have a feeling we'll be talking about a lot of the same stuff, maybe a little more consolidation. Maybe there's a few more, there's definitely going to be a few more, probably aggregator type network things that are formed. And we can talk about what that means, but I don't think a whole lot is going to change. I just think we're going to be kind of pushing up the same mountains a year from now.
Jersey Jura, I'm going to jump to you because what I'm hearing right now is not much is going to change. And you're a guy that's looking to see some change. What in your mind thinks needs to change, or is Ryan right here?
I don't think he's terribly off base, because the truth is he could have said that 2 years ago and 3 years ago and last year, and COVID or not COVID, we'd be in roughly the same spot. But I think from a change perspective, I'm done with InsurTech. I think if you really want to watch something, it's a mistake I personally made in 2016 and many more people made for years after. But I think the real movement is, if you're in insurance, you could have ignored InsurTech, and as we're seeing now, you're just fine because InsurTech really didn't do much. But don't sleep on FinTech. Don't sleep on this, because all you need to do is look at your local bank. Your local bank owns an insurance agency, and they didn't do good with it. But if there's one thing that has a shot at maybe shifting a little bit, it's that we're going to see something happen from that banking channel. But really, I'm still long on IoT devices and telematics and everything else. But the truth is, they just haven't come along like they thought they were gonna. I mean, the real winners of the last couple of years are the consultants and the conference people that put these things on. So,
always telling it like it is, Billy. Brett, any comments on that?
Yeah, similar. I think the agent-enabled tech. I think the automation that's kind of enabled by the broker will excel. Through MGAs, through carrier access partners. But I think the standalone, like you're saying, is going to struggle a little bit. I think the insurtechs are going to continue to go full stack, and I think if the carriers do anything interesting, it'll be in a vertical that's adjacent to the home, like what Farmers did with their own kind of stack that they're building products out of that's a lot lighter. But I think they're going to continue to have these like MGAs and kind of middle layers that help you transition back to the legacy carriers, because I don't think they in and of themselves can kind of do these technology-enabled activities. So.
Awesome. This isn't a 2021 prediction, but I would like to see some comments on this. What do you guys think Ryan's making out of his fridge right now?
Well, this is, my family eats really early, so I at 4:50 I'm in full dinner making mode, and if dinner's not ready when these goons get home, I'll get eaten alive, and you don't want to see that on live StreamYard or whatever. So
contrary mon frere.
Ready on the door. The answer is it's spaghetti and meatballs. Here's I would like to pile on that prediction thing a little bit, though. I think and I'd be super interested in everyone else's take. While I think in 2022 we'll be having the same conversations, I think in 2026 the conversations could be substantially different. I think there will be. I think that the pace of M&A is only going to increase. I think the necessity, as much as I know Billy and I have gone toe-to-toe on this on the Twitters, I think the necessity of some sort of networked, aggregation of carriers to get access is going to become more the norm. I think the idea of having just a portfolio of direct appointments that sustains your agency is going to become an exception to the rule, not the rule, in 5 years. And I certainly think 5G is going to have a major, major impact on the IoT that Billy's long on. As soon as 5G hits the market, IoT becomes substantially more relevant. And that's when you can start to bake all these insurance products into the IoT. But until that connectivity is there, I don't think, and I think in 5 years it could be, or is much more likely to be. And that's where I see, like, if you're primarily a personal lines auto agency and you don't have substantial scale and you're not planning for the devastation that baked in, IoT driven insurance could have in a 5-year or 7-year time horizon, I think there's potentially a huge tidal wave, but that's the only one that I really see. I don't know.
So I have, thinking about IoT, and since I have, Billy here and Ryan, who can both talk about it, and I'm curious as to, we've been hearing a few automakers have started to try to, start their own insurance companies, and as that goes, everything's been going subscription, and everyone's trying to figure out how that's going to work long term. One of the comments I'm also hearing, which I particularly prescribe to, the problem with those models is that it only covers one specific thing. Like, can there be a product that combines all of our IoT information and necessary to be able to give you a home, auto, boat, jet ski policy in the next 5 years, just based on usage, and that it would be either one carrier or multiple carriers working together? I mean, it just seems like almost impossible.
The problem is not that it can happen. The problem is that the marketplace that's available for that isn't actually that big. It's the same reason where many of these insurtechs failed, because they went after millennials. They went after tech-savvy people, and they just boxed themselves in. And, if you look at where you are right now, the truth is the largest segment is the one that's being ignored, right? These IoT devices, I'm not going to sell my 7-year-old customer who hasn't had a claim in the 40 years they've owned their home on why they should put a water sensor down next to their hot water tank that they replaced 5 years ago. It's just not going to happen. So it's a new and trendy thing. It's entirely possible what you just described, but it has to start with a niche and test it and make it better. But where many of them haven't made it, and it's the same mistake that fintech's making, a similar mistake, is that they're going after a segment that they can do well in, and then they're going to be like, well, what do we do next, right? And this is where I had all sorts of devices into my house to the point where I was like, what am I going to do with these? Because they don't do anything else. Like they're just not there, right? I mean, think about it. Hanley's flexing in front of his smart fridge there, right? How many smart fridges are in the neighborhood? In his neighborhood, yes. But if there's 100 homes in his neighborhood at the home insurance cost of about $1,000 a home, that insurance agency isn't staying in business very long, right? So if you're going to rely on the one thing, you're going to do okay. And the real win, if you really want to watch, pay attention to what Hartford Steam Boiler is doing. Pay attention to the white labeled stuff. You don't know it, but Hartford Steam Boiler is the one providing all your service line coverage for the major carriers, right? So pay attention to who's white labeling stuff. That's going to be interesting. Who's it? Slice, I think, is up in Canada now, but Slice is white labeling some stuff. The people behind your Airbnb endorsements, the major carriers aren't producing these endorsements. They're realizing, hey, if we get someone to make this for us, it's way more efficient. So that's the stuff that, your thing can happen, but to bring it to the masses, that's your problem. Like Hanley said, 6 years, 6 years is being generous to get it to the masses. That's not, that's tough.
Actually, there's glimpses of both of these today, though. Keep an eye on Ponkage with Purple Ant. I don't want to go into too much what he's doing, but we've had some interesting conversations. And then Surround Insurance has a little bundle they're launching soon out of Massachusetts that'll cover a few different lines for people hopping out of college but not really going in full life yet, but they're bundling a few needs. But yeah, sorry, they're percolating. They're not roaring yet. Like Ryan's pasta, the bubble, just trying to bubble.
Yeah, here's my take on the whole thing. Insurance isn't broken. We realized that in 2016. It works. So what? We can make it a little easier. We can not use fax machines. We can use e-sign. You know what I haven't had one customer do yet? Complain that they have to e-sign a PDF and send it back to me, and that underwriting takes a day. I haven't had one person complain. Not one.
Well said, Ryan. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up real quick, guys. Great to have you here today. You can just each chime in on this. Who do you think is going to win and who do you think is going to lose in 2021?
The Bills. They're going to win.
Go Buffalo. The hats around.
Well, it's not the Patriots. I'm good.
I think Ryan and Billy be excited about this too. With all the consolidation, people are going to be forgotten that are still really nice accounts, really cool, small growing businesses, really great personal lines bundles. I'm looking forward to picking up the accounts that fall off when it just becomes, spreadsheets and acquisitions, So if you're willing to work hard, I think there's a lot of different ground to gain.
The real winner in 2021, and I've been looking for this person for a couple of years now. I need a carrier, or I need an MGA, or I need a top 50 broker to really get greedy, to really say, now, wait a second here. We've got a great base to build off of. We're going to get hungry and we're going to get greedy and really go after stuff. We're going to do something different. If you're willing to push a little bit, and that doesn't mean insurtech, that doesn't mean fintech. We all partner with, I know Hanley does and Broker Brett, that we partner with companies that are just sitting on mountains of cash. I want one of them to build a bigger mountain. I want one of them to say, I'm going long on myself here. I'm going to replace 3 carriers because I'm going to be so freaking good and I'm just going to buy them up. The one that decides to really get aggressive and really be greedy, home run. That's the one that's going to win 2021 and let alone the next decade after that if they make that decision.
Besides the Bills, here's who I think has an opportunity to really win. Hungry young producers, because I think the model has completely changed. I mean, I know at Rogue right now, I'm hiring, and my model includes, my compensation structure. Day one will include a path to book ownership for that producer, right? This is the new model. The days of me busting my ass for 10 years and then being told, hey, you're never good, thanks, but, your name's never going to be on the box. Those days are over. And I think young, hungry producers, not I'm not talking about entitled, hey, I work here, I'm a snowflake, give me my thing. I'm talking about hungry young producers, men, women, whatever, who want to come in and work and learn the business and do some of the old shit and some of the new shit and really take it to the streets. And I think they're going to win. You're going to see a lot more young producers in the business, and Rogue's going to be part of it. I mean, I don't know that I'll have 20, but I'll certainly have a few. And I think that model and young producers are going to win in 2021 because there are so many agencies today that have changed their mindset as to how you compensate young producers. And I don't necessarily just mean young in age. I mean young in the business. I think that they'll be a big winner by the end of 2021.
Well said, Hanley. Gentlemen, I can't thank you enough for being here. It's not only great to get your insight, it's also great to see your faces. From Alex and I, thank you so much. And Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all your families.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys, very, very much.
So hang on, guys. We're not done yet. This is just wrapping that little session up. And predictions are interesting. And there's a lot we're trying to learn from 2020. But like I said before, I think nothing much needs to change. Our industry is stronger than ever.
Now that Hanley isn't here to disagree with me, I can say this. I don't think that young producers is a new thing. I think people who are hungry and get an insurance license have been the disruptors in the industry for the last 50 years. They've come in and they looked at it differently. They've affected change. I agree with him that now more than ever, they have an easier path to entry because of the way that different agencies do it. But I think that's the opportunity our industry provides. We're an opportunity that can take anyone and anything trying to help anyone and anything and build a life around that and helping build other people's lives up when something bad ends up happening. So
I agree with you, Alex. And I definitely, should nod in my head on that. I think what Hanley pointed to as well, that has not always been there, is the opportunity to have some ownership stake in what you're doing. So I think that aspect and that kind of model is going to drive a lot more talent to the industry when at some point you could take it over or become your own owner. It's going to be a lot more attractive, I think.
Well, so let's talk about, an agency that is definitely breaking the mold, that's looking at new ways of doing things. I have absolutely no idea what their compensation model is, but I guarantee it's cutting edge. Not only that, they're from my home, the 305, and they're perfecting the shimmy. Let's hear a few words and a few predictions from Mr. Lou Gaz at Jag Insurance.
December 18th, the Insurance Scramble. Joe Hollier, thank you for coming back, the official comeback. Appreciate everything you do for our industry, for the independent agents out there who really, we need resources. We're out here kind of on an island on our own. Even though we do our things a different way as far as how we do our business, we all face the same challenges. So having a community to kind of, really open up and piggyback on each other's issues really helps us grow. And that's kind of what I'm excited about, 2021. By the way, has anyone let the Amish know what's going on? Just in case. Wasn't sure about that. Predictions 2021. I do hope, day drinking is still going to be somewhat kosher. I know working from home has not been the most ideal situation for most people, but some of us have been able to figure it out. Number 2, I think Scott Howell, Insurance Guys podcast. I think if anything's going to happen in 2021, and I thought about this the other day, he will be on Dancing with the Stars. Now, he's going to finish 3rd behind Robert Pattinson, because he was in the new Batman movie. And first place was somebody from Disney that no one knows about. 3rd prediction, I think public adjusters will continue to mess up our industry. That's not going anywhere. And number 4, we're going to move on. We're going to move past this. The worst is behind us. The best is ahead of us. Really, shout out to everybody out there in our industry. Nobody understands what we do unless you do what we do. I know most people look at insurance as kind of one of those things where from the outside looking in, this is the best business in the world. It's the best, worst kept secret in the world. Most people want to do what we do, but not everybody has the grit to kind of get past those no's. So I'm thankful for everybody in this community. I'm here to help, and I'm willing to ask for help as well. So thank you for what you do, Joe Hollier. When you get back on the horse, 2021, the Insurance Scramble, I want to come back. I want that same energy Tom Cruise has, yelling at his crew.
We are
I'm bringing that energy, except with no F-bombs. So thank you, Joe. 2021's our year. Make it happen.
2021 is our year. I couldn't agree more. You know, I remember last year predicting that 2020 was going to be the year of the independent agent. What I failed to include was it's going to be the year of the independent agents working from a home, pulling his hair out while his kids run around screaming. But yeah,
I think it's funny that's what you took from that. What I took from that was I completely disagree. Scott Howell in an Elvis jumper would take out Robert Pattinson in a bat suit any day of the week and twice on Elvis's birthday.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Couldn't agree with you more. Well, I don't know about you, but I've had a blast today.
It's just an absolute joy to be able to hang out with you, hang out with all of the amazing folks who contributed the live, Scott Howell, Becky Schroeder, Ryan Hanley, Billy Van Jura, Brett Fulmer. Thank you guys so much for not just taking time out of your day, but you know, putting your reputations on the line and trying to help and spread a little joy, a little happiness this holiday season with us.
Absolutely.
And Joe,
everybody,
thank you
for being here today.
for having me here, man.
Thank you for being here. I'm looking forward. We return live on a weekly basis, January 8th, 2021. Excited to get that going and exciting to have you back. Really changing the format and how we do things. And just thank you for being here, everybody, and hope everybody has a safe and wonderful Christmas, holiday, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa season. God bless y'all. Melikilikimaka is the thing to say on a bright wine Christmas day.
Mr. Ed Halsey, I think by now we've earned the spectacular moniker, but just in case you feel the same as you did yesterday, this one's for you.
Just when you think this show is terrible, something wonderful happens. What? It ends.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody.